What's going on, everybody? We are back. We've been through 3 cases. We got 2 more to go. Consider these the Avengers Affinity War and Endgame version of this game. That's the best way I can describe it. But actually better. Like, there's actual suspense in this one. And there's not villains going, you should have gone for the head. Like, we don't need that. Alright. So this one's called Twisted Karma and His Last Bow. Or Bow, however you want to say it. We got some new characters and some recurring characters and a bit of a shocker. I will not tell you what it is, but we got a little bit of a cutscene here to start us off.
Oh, compared to the last shocker of the last time?
Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said. Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder, an executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night. And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
I will say, you're in for a shocker. And just as shocking as last time.
Wow.
8 days after that earth-shattering trial and Cosima regaining his memory, we were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. Professor Mikitoba's due to arrive at any moment.
Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time.
Sasato-san hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised.
I'm surprised she's not wearing her custom stuff.
Where's my hat? The truth about Kazuma-sama's father. I can't see the screen.
I can't either. Holy crap.
Hold on.
It's
Do you
freezing up on my
suppose...
end.
Do you suppose my father knew?
That he was actually the mass murderer, the professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they?
Yes, that's true.
Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikitoba knew about Kazuma going missing in Hong Kong as well?
That's right, but for some reason, he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it.
That probably means he knows then about Kazuma showing up here in London with amnesia and that he's regained his memory now. Ah, there she is!
Oh, father.
Hello, Sasato. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe and sound.
Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Oh no, not at all. It's my pleasure. Oh, Circus, you recognize this one very well.
Oh God. We have heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas.
It has?
I've always looked forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain.
Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man, and why do I feel as though I've seen him before?
I take it from your expression that you can't quite place me.
In that case, how about a little reminder, Shishiro? A firm tap should do it.
Yes.
A firm tap? What?
Here we go, then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Rasusuke Naruhodo, guilty!
Get. Oh! You're... Get a chance to see Simp again.
The court will now hear the trial of Rasusuke Naruhodo.
Your Excellency!
Yes, bow down.
Hello, Judge Jigoku. How are you? It's been a long time.
Good, you're remembered now. That really did the trick. Guilty!
Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time.
So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back.
Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symposium like this. Though really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Shishiro?
What are you talking about, Eugene? Ha 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 ha.
Of course, Judge Jigoku. He must complete the set. He's the other man who 16 years ago came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar. Now I can add him to my card collection. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you?
Ha! I knew you were jealous. Ha 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 ha. Damn, I laughed a lot.
I just enjoy life. What can I say? Sorry, ministerial status? Yes, didn't you know? Shishiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here on this study tour.
Guilty as charged. Ha 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 ha.
Oh.
I'm loving this thing with the gavel.
Well, thank you very much. And my burger joint is a lot better than Grandpa's over there. How dare you! Have you ever tried a sushi
We actually
burger?
serve good burgers.
Have you ever tried a sushi burger before?
We have sushi donuts.
Sushi
Hey, you got.
donuts?
Oh, hey. Sushi. What the fuck? Hey, speaking of that, it reminds me, there is something called a rice burger. Hang on, I gotta go and look at my cookbook. I know I have it in there.
We got Mooney fangirling. Huh.
Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really very bit as important as he looks. Ah, yes now, Naruhodo. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in the trial you were involved with 8 days ago. about what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy. Yes, could you tell us any more about it?
I wonder why she's not wearing her steampunk shit. Daddy's here.
And there's a reason why I changed the costumes back.
Oh?
You'll see in a little bit. So, how is the voyage here? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards.
But it wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago.
No, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience.
Ah, so you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris?
We did, yes, though only for one night. And I took that painting with us behind me. I tried to go up to the Eiffel Tower, but, and by the way, Shishiro here laughed at the very top of the tower when he got up there. And, the cops pulled us over, and they were like, "Sir, you can't be laughing up here. It's causing everybody to wake up in the middle of the night." And yesterday evening, we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover.
Just in time for the... In fact, it starts tomorrow.
It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father.
It's thanks to Shishiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to integrate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited, and I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default.
Speak of yourself, Eugene. You're close friends with the professor of forensic science at the major hospital.
Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really.
No, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back.
Cosmo's father, I suppose. The professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy, was actually Kazuma's father, wasn't he?
That's correct. Racine Asagi?
Genshin.
Genshin
I'll still.
I suck at names, especially if they're foreign.
I gotta get you on your Japanese there.
Like, excuse me, I'm not a weeb.
Nobody's saying you're a weea.
Hey.
Genshin.
Genshin Impact.
I just made that joke. You knew, You knew, I presume, Father?
Yes, he was a close friend at the time.
Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigation techniques at Scotland Yard. Bloody hell.
He never once had any fish and chips. He said they were too disgusting.
I never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous act.
It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland. But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father?
No, of course not. He was told his father had passed away from sickness. I'm mixing up my damn fucking voices again. God damn it!
Well, I mean...
It gets tongue-tied sometimes.
However, I suspect he may have had his doubts. Oh, why? As you know, I tried to guide Kazuma growing up as if he were my own son. Then, one day, he came to my office at the university and said, I've decided. I want to travel to Great Britain and study there.
Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death?
I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him. Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually. Oh, what? Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Cosima since turned up here in London working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zeeks. What?
What? That's news to us.
So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then. As you know, we both thought Cosima had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January.
But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, didn't you, Father?
In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished.
We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to ascertain what happened, but no avail.
But he's still alive? And here in London, you say? I never dared even to dream it.
Why on earth did the young man not make contact?
He's not a Star Trek character.
The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now.
Well, seems that he was suffering from amnesia.
What? Amnesia?
When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were. I see. He only regained his memory 8 days ago.
This is unbelievable.
Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently. I wonder how Cosima's been these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him?
That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. It was Eugen here, Guston, and myself. We were the original 3. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study.
Ocean voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you. 16 years ago, things were tough for their generation.
Your father was an exceptional, fine medical student at Yummy University at the time, you know, young lady.
Oh, crud. I'm finishing this line and then... Yes, grandmother told me.
He went to do research at the Great London Hospital to study autopsy, particularly unheard of in Japan.
Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground. Ugh, not more talk of graves.
Very often, there was no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy.
So, you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons. Not my cup of tea at all. Do you remember that Scottish prison governor? Caden, his name was. He was a good man. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. There is also somebody with a Scottish accent in this, and I don't think you want to do that one, Circus. So I won't force you to.
Dude, I can barely do a Scottish accent.
Okay, then I will let you do it then.
Even though I am Scottish. In my line. Yes. But then, of course, in our 16th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case. When Garnish was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders.
I simply couldn't believe it. I know the man for years.
I was a witness to the secret hearing, and I tried to speak in his defense,
But you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you?
well, surface to say, after the trial, we were sent back to Japan. Yes, I had to be arrested.
Oh, and it's funny why he got arrested, and I'll make a joke on that later.
Well, I can't wait to find out why he was arrested.
There's an animation of it too.
Ooh, I can't wait.
There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. Well, if you'll excuse us now.
Yeah, I like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible.
Oh,
The trunk.
I'm so sorry. I
What's
shouldn't
in the
have.
box?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long.
Call for the porter then. Just wait here?
Sasato-san's gone off at a run. I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow. Yes, of course. It must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck. Naruhodo. I hope you'll keep an eye on Sasato for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been. Oh no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me. She wears
How
the
many times
pants.
do you have to be flipped over?
She's the one that wears the pants in this relationship. Well, I do appreciate you being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I've throwingly let her down. Sorry? What do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Sasato was born. Yes, I heard. The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, sadly, it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too. Oh, yes. Sasato-san hinted at something like that.
Was a rather turbulent time at home.
Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man. And it was then that Shishiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain.
I was too worried about you to leave you behind. So perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to pursuing you to accompany me to London.
So, that's what happened in a nutshell. And that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say. I completely understand, Professor. Ah, one other thing, Naruhodo. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you. Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you? Well, the thing is,
Oh god, it's the guardsman for Wizard of Oz! What?
I'm so sorry that took so long.
Miss Sasato.
Now then, allow us to take your bags.
Allow me to take your bags. One moment, if you please, Porter. Of course, sir.
Isn't that the same guy from the first trial?
Probably.
I think
I
so.
can't remember. It's been a long time myself.
Yeah, I almost forgot my character's voice for the trial.
That machine around
If I
your neck.
recall, that he's
That machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. Quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense. Ah, yes, of course.
Is this why?
Yes. Otherwise, it would be weird. Like, wait a minute, they changed clothes for the picture? Because even with the alternate costumes, it doesn't make it. It's like, wait a minute, how did they how did they change so quickly?
I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. You really made Father very happy, I think.
Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before. Professor Mikatoba was about to ask me something.
Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expect Iris will have something delicious. We'll have some delicious tea waiting for us.
Yes, let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Kazuma, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him.
Is he and my characters coming up soon?
No.
Alright, I'll be right back. Got these to
Okay. Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Zeeks doing here?
Aye, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air. Didn't you say?
This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension. God damn it, they've been ruining our fun time. My apologies, I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me. Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure.
Now on, you must dress in white from head to toe, whenever you come here.
Now then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I'm right here. Ugh, kill me now. Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you? Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature. If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam.
Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited.
I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands then, Lord Van Zeeks. I will attend at once.
Gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he?
I know, but I haven't done anything, have I? Well, you did beat me a number of times in court. I'm still mad about that. These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service?
Mr. Naruhodo, he's talking about Dr. Scythe.
Ah, of course. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just, Fear not. You've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further. That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. Lord Van Zieks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though, disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday. Oh, missing?
What's become of Kazuma-sama now?
Not long ago, visitors' numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million. 30 million? Are there even that many people in the world?
It's a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo. The population of the imperial capital Tokyo is 2 million.
I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making. 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries. It sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations. The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques, and cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark first symposium has to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World. He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something.
You're every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo.
Did you just read my mind?
Perhaps.
I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily occurring an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department. And can you not do that now? Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say. Unintended repercussions of our trial.
He simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though. Easy for you to say.
Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. About Lord Van Zieks' apprentice. Ah, yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say. That you and he are old friends. How did he become an apprentice to Lord Van Zieks in the first place? It came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel.
Oh my. How he stowed away to get here.
He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zieks. That way I can keep an eye on him. But then, why the mask? I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zeeks with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice. Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask. He's proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zeeks. I have high hopes for his future. By the way, do you know where he's gone? No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being.
Oh.
I take it you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean. Genshin Asogi. What we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was... Ah, yes, Genshin Asogi. The Professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain.
They were such awful murders, and unprecedented. Using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon.
And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London.
The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time. Understands.
Oh, correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the Professor's apparent cause. What? Supporters of a mass murderer? The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Or so a fair few thinkers in London believed anyway. Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it?
Seems fairly similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey.
Oh, I guess we're not gonna say goodbye. Okay, bye, fuck you. Thanks for not saying anything. Okay. They're gonna go over to Sholmes's? Okay, fine. Don't even say goodbye, I'll just be over here on my desk, okay. But, oh, he's got a much better time with me. Now fuck you, Sholmes. Oh god, it's the crying. I'm not gonna do that.
Ugly crying.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, or something like that. Yeah, something like that. What was that?
A man screaming in a most unflattering way.
Do you think... Could it have been Mr. Sholmes?
Oh my, I do hope not.
Well, I don't do it anymore. Mon ami, mon ami. Stop this disgraceful display, huh? Who are these people? Look at their hair, it's bright red.
Who are you people? I think must be clients of Mr. Sholmes.
Mooney? Oh, do we lose her?
I'm here.
Oh.
That you do. You come with me now. Down to the clink.
No, not the prison. It is dark and damp, but I don't like it. Wolf, the darkness, it is my friend. I am not scared.
Blushing?
But you are always scared of the dark. Shut your mouth, you idiot. I will sit quietly in the dark and plan on next daring heist. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like it.
Fair duh. There of the yard. Now get moving.
Get him, Gina.
Ginny, hop on. Oh yeah, thanks, Iris. And thanks, you're a great detective.
Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she?
I was going to start put the handcuffs on me. Ow, that hurts! God damn it! I don't like these handcuffs. Get them off of me! Ow! Why do you have to do it so hard? Ow!
You're off over here and we're going down to the station.
Gah. I don't want to ride on the horse. Can I not? No, I don't want to go in the carriage. I don't want to ride on top of the horse. No, I get that. I'm the taller
Shall
one.
I
and
perform
know
a
that.
Susato takedown on them?
Oh, no. Actually, I might kind of like it. Can you
Alright.
please do it?
Down to the crate.
Hey, do you want me to eat my bloody fish and chips, you bastard? Come over here.
Oh no, I need to eat an Italian, and I need a little bit of French croissants. Now that fish
Come
and
here, I'm
chips
gonna
now.
beat you to a bloody pulp, sunshine.
I say,
Hey,
go
your
to.
water habit. The
You-
water, sir. It's a tough look.
Oh, you gonna dodge nuts?
Oh, see, unreal.
Hello, Iris. We're home.
Well, did you find your daddy?
Meanwhile, Herlock be all, what the fuck? Oh, you'll find out what Herlock's up to.
Yes,
I'm
we
afraid to
arrived
find
at
out.
the hotel just before he and his friends.
I hope I get to see my daddy again soon.
Yes, of course.
Dr. John H. Wilson. So, Iris, all that remains now is that greatest of problems known to man.
Oh my
What?
god.
But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order, don't you, my dear fellows?
Did he dye his hair?
Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Do I have a crumb or such like on my face?
Looks like Ronald McDonald raped your hair, dude.
Not so much on
Look,
your face.
Look
Some-
like the bastard child of Ronald McDonald.
What makes you think I'm not his grandfather? As
Ronald
on your
McDonald is an undead cosmic horror.
old MacDonald had a farm. As on your head, I'd say.
Hello again, everyone. I've brewed a lovely special blend. Time to see.
Whoa, Mooney, your audio differed.
Yeah.
That's because I had to change out to my earbuds.
Okay.
Whatever is going on here today?
In that case, let us sit and drink now. For I am, in fact, expecting a guest later today.
Does it involve your hair?
I'll tell you in a little bit.
This looks like last week's edition.
What's that article circled in red ink there?
It's an advertisement column. It says... The Red-Headed League.
The Red-Headed League? What's that?
I don't know. I've never heard of it before. But,
Is something on my face? Clearly, this has something to do with that lively hair.
Looks like Howdy Doody just fucking shit on his head. Damn.
It looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes. To the Red-Headed League. Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair. So, at last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? In the first instance, and quite indispensable, observation. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut. So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits. Regale or boast?
I can't believe he even dyed his eyebrows.
Mr. Sholmes, were the two gentlemen that were here before?
Oh, just a pair of petty criminals, nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the
job.
in London, forget it. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all matter of infractions.
When the mood takes you?
All matter of infractions? But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Hairlock Sholmes, well, that's when their luck runs out.
Oh, my. You were the target of the crime, Mr. Sholmes.
But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally.
You should have come too. With a card and a rusty tea party. Oh god, that's a bad Joe.
I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is consummately in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Aha, I have it. A bungler. That's the word. It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. So those redheads had been up to no good?
I wonder what the men did.
We just offered him some pasta. What was wrong with that? And we may have
Stole
offered...
him.
Well, I may have offered him some frog legs, and he was probably not liking it very much.
Dude,
Well-
you offered him some cocaine. Get over it.
Oh, so now Sholmes turns it down.
What was that about the greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before?
Is it another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Sholmes?
How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance? Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere, possibly.
It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago. According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops.
Wait, what? We were apes? We were just like Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. Wait a minute, how would they know about it? We could have been just like
Oh,
the
God.
characters in the Donkey Kong TV show.
Oh god, I can already like imagine them like one of them's like Jumpman trying to jump on like trying to grab the flowers and try to rescue Pauline.
That's the cartoon, a frickin' I'll show you in a coconut cream pie.
I was just watching that episode today actually. I've gone back and watched the whole show again. God, I missed that
Oh.
show. It's so good. So bad it's funny as hell.
And the character, the main character, his singing shouldn't be as good as it is for a show that bad,
But it's great. I mean, the songs are like the best part of the show. Indeed, and from the very moment those apes descended from the canopy to live as humans, it has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man. That's what we should do over the summer. We should watch some episodes of the show and react to it.
Well, what a way to start off their anniversary.
I was gonna say, I just had to look this up for Charles Darwin. But 40 years ago, so yeah, 1859, Darwin published the Origin of Species proposing continual evolution of species. So yeah, we're in 1899.
Yeah, we're just like a year away from the 20th century. We're celebrating like it's 1900 pretty soon.
But I'll finish my line and then. Or lot, what is this great problem, Mr. Sholmes?
Why, is it not obvious, my dear madam? The problem of rent.
Oh no.
And okay, I'm guessing they're taking a lot of liberties with Natsuki, because his I Am a Cat thing started publication in 1905.
Yeah, so this is like 6 years before, so...
But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Juicebells only the other day?
Good lord, that guy fucking gets bad with money as me.
Sure, a large sum. Owen potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all of it has quite disappeared, I assure you. It was a Lamborghini, by the way.
Honestly, Harley, you know you squandered it.
Yes, well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem, from the coming month at least. And what was the answer? Why, there is a substantial clue before your very eyes.
Tell me, let me see.
Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what is in front of their noses. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There is one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice it in the end, I think.
Your hair?
In the end? It's been stabbing me in both eyes right from the very beginning of our conversation.
He's staring daggers at our souls.
Menacingly.
I think we might need another clue before we cover the full answer, Mr. Naruhodo.
Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. Mr. Sholmes, isn't it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago, you said to us... I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. That case aboard the SS Bureau in January. Kazuma wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on? The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew. But how? After they'd carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unladded from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse.
Thank God, I forgot how to do his accent.
Yeah, you don't have to do the big Russian accent.
The actual
Oh, how horrible.
It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course. But why? Why do it in the first place? I will be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events. What events? His disappearance in Hong Kong.
Oh,
I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment. Mr. Sholmes. So what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you circled? You noticed it in the paper, then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment. It was? How? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me.
Iris. Oh, shit. Mm. um. Mm. Mm.
Alright, Mooney?
Hang on.
Screen's flickering, probably.
Yeah.
Let's listen to what the Lucky Red Hats do once they join.
Oh, bless
Additional
you.
salary of £4 a week.
oh my, £4 a week.
But why? Why are they, what are they paying people for? That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement.
But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case.
You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll be putting in my application at once.
So will I, just on the off chance.
That might be stretching a point, I think.
The trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see.
Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can. But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away.
What?
Wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Sholmes.
So you decided to try to join in his place? Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow? No.
I've seen more red hair on Ronald McDonald than you.
So why? Why did it have to go so wrong? What on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo, though it pains me to admit it.
Did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes?
I'm glad you asked, Miss Sasato. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight by the wonders of chemistry. Chemistry? I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. And in the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that, when taken, turns one's hair a flame-like red. Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. I think I'll
Oh,
pass.
no.
Oh no.
But, Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it?
Why, just one drink of this crimson potion and you'll become king. Amateurs are always hampered by such fears.
Oh.
Dude, we live in a day of age cancer. Fuck off.
I should never have doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say, what the fuck's wrong with me?
But of course, to earn £4 per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely.
So anyway, I left full of confidence yesterday with this new red hair. The park on Lime Street where the Red-Headed League were interviewing prospective new members.
So what went wrong? The whole park was choked with red-headed folk like a coaster's orange barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front. But when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Hairlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?"
That notoriety.
So naturally, I had no choice but to reply, "Shh, don't give me away." After which, I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair into the police.
What the hell, you
Yeah.
dick?
Disaster. Back early in those two redheads. Yari, yari doze.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Aha! Here is my guest now, my latest client with money to spend.
Oh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Ellie.
Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating, save locating a runaway, of course. Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you?
Oh dear, I'm afraid that Hurley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due.
Thwack.
Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, please, please. Please find my husband. He's run away.
To upset me?
I beg your pardon?
Never mind. A personal matter. My apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhodo? I didn't say a word. Come, my dear madam. Be seated. Iris, some tea, if you please.
Cost?
What's the matter, Mrs. Sato?
Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I'm sure I've seen her somewhere before, very recently.
Yes, now that you come to mention it.
As I explained earlier, my name is Eve Vigil. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure.
£1 million. Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madam. Being offered a case to solve is reward enough.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you are the picture of benevolence.
I will, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you will remember your words also.
If I might inquire, sir, this gentleman and lady would be.
Oh, me?
What am I about to tell you? I should like to communicate with the strictest confidence. You understand?
Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me.
Ah, I see.
I can vouch for the gentleman personally, after all. He's hard of hearing. Why did I ever get my hopes up? Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Vigil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps?
Oh my!
Pshaw, my dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate to the facial features of the English. If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion.
Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer for the trial I attended last week?
Ah, I knew I recognized her.
To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh, oh golly, it sent shivers down my spine.
I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now.
It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer, being hard of hearing, I mean.
What did I miss?
Pardon?
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I just worry if you can't hear. It was really nothing more.
Mr. Sholmes said said he was hard of hearing, and now she thinks what's his face is half deaf.
Ooh.
And then reassuring him by saying, pardon? Now look what you've started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much. I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner. Hey, nobody puts Renosuke in the corner. Yes. Tell us about your husband, madam.
Mr. Virgil, my dearly, is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here.
An entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least. How long
Looks
have
like
you
a
been...
really bad wig.
Yep.
No, what are you talking about? That's my natural hair. I like to have it long on the top. Is that such a problem? How long have you been married?
It will be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship, and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably.
As it would appear. I need only look at you to know these things.
Oh gosh.
Are you flirting with her, Mr. Sholmes? Shut up. She's married. It doesn't matter. Your dress is the latest style. Your hat clearly regularly groomed, and your ears and your eyes are animated, not your ears. What am I talking about? In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct?
That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather don't tell me.
What does that mean? Let's not do a little TMI, please. Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or other.
Oh, that is exactly what I fear
must have happened. Mr. Sholmes, I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he has incurred some miscreant's ill will?
What exactly is your husband's line of work?
He's a warder at the prison.
A guard? That is somewhat unusual. So, your husband is a prison warder.
That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder.
Indeed, I see. Well, chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation.
Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they are carried out.
Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments? The type that Shamspeare's going in a few days?
And as such, he must occasionally spend a night or two at the prison dormitory. And for that extra responsibility, he is remunerated more handsomely than the other warders. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors.
Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged?
Berkeley Prison, Mr. Sholmes.
Really? Berkeley? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there is a large cemetery just behind it.
Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery.
No. Lowgate Cemetery? The very place we were discussing in court. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable, my dear fellow. And yet undeniable. Wait, are you reading my mind too? Yes, your mind is very easy to read, my dear fellow. It's not just it's not just Mrs. Sato that can read your mind. Everybody can. We all have telepathic abilities. You're just the one that doesn't.
No, we can read your face.
Sorry, Mr. Sholmes. I'm afraid you've lost me.
Ah, pay no heed. Madam, pay no heed. A private matter. This can't really be a coincidence, can it? So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance, when did you realize he was missing?
Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday.
I'm sorry? Yesterday? That really is recent, laughably so.
The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all out of the ordinary for him not to return home at night, but this is different. For him not to make any contact for a whole day? That has certainly never happened before.
This is almost like a Forensic Files episode.
My dear Daly, what could have happened?
My dear Mrs. Vigil, please, calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police?
Naturally, but sadly, they refuse to listen to my pleas as my husband has only been missing for 1 day. I was asked to wait patiently at home.
In truth, Mrs. Vigil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway.
Thank you, Mr. Scholes.
And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it.
You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention.
You seek only to put this sweet's rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it.
Don't forget, Wagahai needs food. He needs his fancy feast.
And some tweets.
Thank you for everything you have shared with us, Mrs. Vigil. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation.
Oh, please, report to me soon with good news, sir.
Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure.
So soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Scholes.
Good news should be delivered early, I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession. Thank you. Now, allow me to show you the door.
I can't thank you enough, Mr. Scholes. You've been simply marvelous.
You know, I think it a bit time early. But do you come out with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two, are you sure?
I can't be sure, of course, but then I didn't swear on it. I merely
shenanigans.
I merely gave the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of day tomorrow. If by that time I've successfully located Mr. Vigil, we shall be mutually relieved. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Don't look at me with those pleading eyes.
I just think who's the real detective here?
Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case? Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually. Excellent. And what did you make of it? Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Barclay Prison, I mean. Ah, so you noted that?
Oh, here I am. Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery.
Hello again, I am back.
I want to die.
And I'm still a better dancer than Shamspear. Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison, so it was renowned among us students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts.
Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated.
The professor. Now a warder from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem. It's all very peculiar. Indeed. But nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Run along to the prison and see what you can glean. Would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the man is equally worried. But aren't you going to go yourself?
Really? Get paid.
Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen out with this hair! But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair? That was quite a different matter. So I leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm rather busy.
He's worse than a teenager.
Of course you are.
Won't wash out.
Oh gosh, imagine it just slowly becoming lighter and lighter until it's pink.
And now he says pink hair the rest of his life. Barclay Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lowly burial ground.
I was thinking something more wholesome, like looking like he and Iris could actually be biologically related. Oh,
Yeah.
you get to be my Uncle Sholmes for real now.
Its 4 high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. And here's a new character. This place is full of hardened criminals. I can now remember the last time a civilian was down here. I knew deny want to talk to an inmate, but to me? Do you ken who I am? I'm the governor, Barry Caden. Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Renosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. On an Eastern, I see. Does that mean... Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan. Japan! Do you say Japan? Yes? Yo, there's no any of your kind in here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh?
I didn't notice another prison next door, sir.
Anyway, we came to ask you some questions about... I didn't like to be so direct, but... I have no intention of speaking with the likes of you suspicious-looking Easterners. Now get out of my hair. So as soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this. That surely means...
I think it's because of the professor case.
You think so too? 10 years ago, Genshin Asogi, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then, after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison. I might have known. You're sniffing around both that case, aren't you? You're agents, eh? Part of the Professor's great web, no doubt. No, not at all. We're just... Get out, will you? Before I punch your lights out. We're going. Clearly, the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not going to get anywhere here. Unless we could somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us.
Governor Kaiden?
Caden,
Kaiden.
what are you thinking, Mr. Sato?
I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us.
Come to think of it, I have the same feeling. I was wondering if I can dye my hair red so I can earn £4 a week.
Father, we earn more than that a day.
Yeah, maybe I should get my mustache turned red too. I wonder if there's
That's all look
anybody... What?
It's all look like a Wendy's character.
That's Professor Mikotoba over there. Ah, hello you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked. But where's Judge Shigoku? Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taken himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs.
Having only just arrived in the country today, goodness, he is full of energy.
Oh my god, he's still laughing from within the hall over there. You can hear it on every single room in this hotel.
The laugh makes. Oh, why am I doing the voice? That laugh makes me think of the really bad Dingo Pictures dub for Dinosaur Adventure, or whatever, like the dinosaur thing, where they find out that the dinosaurs turned into cannibals, and one of them's like, ha 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 ha.
Professor, you mentioned something before about how you known the prison governor at Barclay Prison. Oh, Governor Caden, you mean? So it is the same man.
Father, must speak with the governor. He refused to talk to us. Said we were suspicious Easterners.
Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story. Oh, would you? That would be wonderful. If you have time now, sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment.
Yeah,
Busy-
just reading a newspaper.
Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee? Now, I have rather a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know. Oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I? I could read your mind, Naruhodo. Why is it that everybody can read my mind? You Mikotobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts.
Thoughts are just very loud. Or could it be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts? Same thing.
Let's not fall out now. I have an idea. Scroll. What's he writing on that piece of paper? Isn't the guy wearing the black suit funny as hell? Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully, when he sees my name, he'll change his tune. Ah, thank you.
Gosh, you could hear it in the wind. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. I don't know if the mic caught that.
Yeah, it did. It
I
surely
think it did. Like,
Nice.
oh god. Why am I when I hear the judge laugh like that? It makes me think of like freaking All Might from My Hero Academia. All Might. I don't watch My Hero Academia, but there's a character that's like he's real muscular and it's like looks rather heroic. Yeah.
Good luck then. Is he as sexy as Van Zeeks?
I would rather say you check it out for yourself.
So the answer is yes. If you just cast your eyes over this, Governor Caden. What's this then? Yeah, can I pull the wool over my eyes, you good-for-nothing Japanese student? Mikotoba? That young jock from the forensics laboratory? That Mikotoba? Yes, exactly, him.
Oh dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Jin Mikotoba's daughter, Susato.
Jings! You're the young man's daughter? And you didn't, I think, to mention that afore?
I do apologize.
Aye, well, you'd best take a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps? And did I forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits? Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing.
I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now.
So then, what can I do for you, hen?
currently investigating a case.
It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing. Missing?
That's right, it's surely been reported to you as well. Being the prison governor.
Haven't they heard nothing of the sort? There's no missing persons in my prison.
Oh,
But how can that be?
it's Mr. Daily Vigil, your chief warder.
Vigil? That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Clearly that means something to him.
Do you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir?
Aye, of course. We understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warder here at the prison. Aye, that he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job, no doubt about it. He was a fine warder.
He
Sorry,
was,
did you...
but
Sorry,
something did happen.
sorry, did you say was? Aye, he doesn't work here no more. He left the job.
Oh my.
When was this exactly? There's a question. When was it about? Can I have been much less than 10 years ago now?
What?
What?
10 years ago? He stopped working here 10 years ago? Aye, as I mind it. Do you know, Ken, I haven't heard the fella's name in all that time. That's a worry if he's gone missing, though. But Mrs. Vigil made no mention of it.
I think perhaps Mr. Naruhodo, his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here.
Governor Caden, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here? That's important, is it? Yes, I believe it may be.
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo?
I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago,
Ah,
which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison.
so Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of chief warder 10 years ago, you're telling us? Happened to make him leave the job.
In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter. You mean he was dismissed? It was after a particular walk. Sorry, a walk? Aye, that's your word for it in here. A walk to the gallows. An execution. It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions you see. Only, Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning.
Did he do?
I'm sorry, but I cannot reveal that information. But I can tell you that it's very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of his post. But why wouldn't Mrs. Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here. I wouldn't make anything about that, I'm afraid.
Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal?
And what would that be, Hen?
that last execution that Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing. Is it by any chance professors?
My thoughts exactly. I am sorry, I really am. But I am not at liberty to answer that.
I see. My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine. You seem to have been well acquainted.
The dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, they need fresh corpses for forensic research. Do you know, Ken? Yes, I can imagine.
The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable.
Your father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard, in the basement of St. Sinners. It's still in use today. St. Sinners? That's come up before, I'm sure.
Yes, that's right. We've been there.
Mikatoba and I have to use the ride in a carriage together and negotiate terms. For more fresh material, I suppose. Aye, and we used to sit in here for hours and gab on about this dissection and all sorts. Ugh, and takes me back. Over a pot of tea and a plate of cuff biscuits, of course.
Oh, charming.
He was a good fella, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. But I'm afraid I'll never understand you Japanese. Because of Genshin Asogi, I suppose. Well, I can tell you anything else.
Thank you so much for your time, Governor.
Oh, one moment before you're away, Hen. I'm sure I have it here somewhere.
Ooh, nice axe.
Here's Caden. Ah, found it. Here, take this as a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison.
What is it?
That's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course.
Oh my, are you sure?
Hey, it's no trouble at all. It's not the original, mind. Thank you very much, Governor Caden. Well, in return... do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed.
Oh. Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being.
Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Sholmes with what we found out about Mr. Vigil.
Oh, no more cuff biscuits.
Yeah, they were too small. There weren't enough made. What will he tell Mrs. Vigil, I wonder?
Katie said just don't go to the office, so there could always be a meetup at the park. So maybe more cuff biscuits.
We gotta find out the secret formula.
Ravioli, ravioli. Give me the formuloli.
I went to college. We're back. Hello, you two.
Got it be long. Not
We're kind of in the mood for some handcuff biscuits. So that's what the was. Greetings, my dear fellows.
Oh my god!
What the fuck?
You returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating.
Sherlock
I'm
Holmes.
blue, I'm a D, I'm a die, I'm a D, I'm a die, I'm a D, I'm a die.
I have a blue house with a blue window. Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes?
Say nothing. Your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. It turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application.
Oh my.
Pray, tell me, what of our water friend? Have you garnered some new information? Oh, yes. Something very surprising, in fact. Though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest.
It most certainly isn't, but still, we discovered that.
Sholmes!
Uh-oh.
Don't entertain shows! This is full politics!
Gina?
She got so mad she got a manly voice.
No.
Now I'm picturing that meme where, like, a little girl opens a pickle jar, but right as she opens it, she looks like a buff guy.
God, I'm even.
What's happened? Oh no.
Clearly a very grave matter indeed. For Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever.
It's the boss.
What do you mean? Inspector Gregson?
Oh no.
The boss is. He's dead.
What?
Aw.
They just found his body, shot with a pistol.
What?
But Inspector Gregson.
He was murdered?
No, crazy.
Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story.
Oh, thanks a lot. Don't go from one of my characters.
Yeah, I forgot. This is like the second person that you voiced where somebody that's gotten killed.
Yeah.
Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson was... he was really shot?
I don't know what's up with myself yet. I'm still there, investigating the scene.
Where did this take place?
A little rented room in a bulk full of flats on Fresno Street.
The outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then.
Thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there.
Oh, how strange.
The boss was... It was so good to me. I'm not saying up too much yet, but... One day, I was gonna show him. I'd become a proper detective.
Oh, Jenny.
Wait till you find out who they thought did it. So, who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is?
They got him already.
Already?
They've caught the shooter so soon?
A witness reported something was going on. Other boys got straight down there and took care of him.
Who? What awful person did this?
You ready?
I still can't believe it myself.
Dina.
It was the Reaper.
What?
Wait a minute. You don't mean they've arrested Lord Van Zeeks for it?
That's right. The Reaper's bloke gone and shot the boss.
No. Lord Van Zeeks?
You didn't know, Joe. You probably killed me.
Are you quite sure, Mr. Lestrade? Is Brock Van Zeeks the person police have arrested?
I saw him with my own eyes. In the interview room at the yard.
I don't believe it.
But there were witnesses. I'm just saying it was him.
Oh, you mean for actual multiple witnesses?
The other got shot apparently. And when Arlo got to the sea, there was only the boss and that Reaper bloke in the room.
But there's no way Lord Van Zeeks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it.
Don't believe it either.
Stop reading my thoughts, damn it.
Thoughts are very loud and distracting. Oh.
Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestrade. This really is most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry.
You didn't love it. But anyway, I'm taking a cop over to the scene right now. Please, come on all. Soon as you can. You gotta help.
Must bring the emotional support animals. Wagahai, and then we'll get Toby.
It's a
Where's the
detective.
animals? He's a...
It's a detective's lot to appear wherever some sinister plot is unfolded. Little wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves. Mr. Sholmes. What use is there in being a great detective if I failed to see something like this coming, How could I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson.
Rex didn't even like you asshole.
I still respected him, damn
I
it.
should know my voice.
Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations. Of course, yes, we will too. It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Until later, then. Inspector Gregson dead, and Lord Van Zeeks arrested.
I've called Johansson. It's waiting outside.
Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Mrs. Sato?
Yes.
So, Sylph, does this remind
Why
you
do all
of
my
a particular
characters
case?
kill them?
One that we
Seriously, why the hell won't my
played
character
during
be-
Christmas.
And we will play again. But this time fully. And as the answer of why all your characters get killed off, I don't know. Probably the same reason as why it ends up becoming your characters that end up doing the crimes anyway. I mean, you're dropping tea on some guy's crotch. And you try to kill
I'll do it to
Spear.
you too.
You try to kill Spear unsuccessfully because he somehow managed to live.
And I think it happened with my characters too, like this suspicious bitch and the ballerina.
Yeah.
You know what that means? You're gonna have to find me a new character to voice.
Well, I just gave you the judge, unless you want another one.
I'll do another one.
Well, there will be another one when it comes witness time.
Okay.
There he
Tell the
is.
joke.
Even in prison, he looks distinguished.
Yep.
Lord Van Zeek's behind bars.
Poor
Oh,
Ghosty if she
Ghosty
sees
is
him.
so gonna lid.
Can't do the Doofenshmirtz voice.
Neither can I.
Oh, it's true. He really was arrested.
He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zeeks. Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be, with the last person on Earth I'd like to see. I couldn't very well not come. We heard what happened. That Inspector Gregson was... Go home. This has nothing to do with you. But...
Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. The very least we owe it to him. Find out the truth about his death. Just help us with our investigations, please.
There's really nothing I can tell you. What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case? This? The Yard isn't quite so cavalier with its information as to share case details with a suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance.
Oh, who might that be?
Someone you know, as it happens, Albert Harebrain.
Oh, I called it.
I'm eating all the chocolate in the world over back in Germany, and I can't tell you how much I'm pleasantly surprised at how much sugar rush I'm getting. Of course, yes, I keep forgetting they went to the same university. How could you forget that? It was such an important part of the last case. And I would like to read my correspondence in peace, so let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zeeks never minces his words. But they seem to have less bite than usual somehow. Bark, bark.
Bork.
Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zeeks? What happened? How much do you already know?
We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room in Fresno Street.
And that you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested. We were told... Oh.
It's me. We were told that there was nobody else in the room and that some witnesses heard the gunshot.
Then you're well informed. And there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. But the gunshot, obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise. However, before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. So he doesn't actually know what happened.
If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with?
I don't need to answer that.
Oh.
After all, you're not representing me. He is going to need a lawyer, though. Who is going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zieks? Anyone other than you, I should imagine.
Ouch. I'd be alright in assuming that you have no representation yet. As of yet?
Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. In my career, of all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now.
Surely not.
I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that. What does he mean by that? After the trial, Professor Harebrain was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought. It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged this passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper.
As the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean?
Yes, so it seems. Your stooped little Nipponese friend, for example. Who are you calling stooped? You told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day. Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo.
So Professor Harebrain is safely back in Germany now.
He is. So, it appears our conversation has run dry. There was a 2-second silence, that's all. Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you. I was wondering, Lord Van Zieks, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you. You trust me, do you? Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. So I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. It's just, my feelings can't be used as evidence in a court of law, sadly. It's a very gracious offer. However, I trust no one. What?
Not even yourself.
Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you Nipponese. But please. I have no intention of engaging your services. The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems. I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Then neither of us will waste any more time.
Oh.
Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper and find out more about Lord Van Zieks and what happened to Inspector Gregson. Which we'll have to do next week. Because we've reached our limit.
Aww.
That's rad.
Yeah, there's still so much that we have to do, but we just don't have the time for it now. Alright, so
Did
next...
Mike pick that up?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, cool, okay.
Alright.
Just cracked my neck.
So next time around, we're gonna go visit the crime scene, and then we gotta convince a sexy vampire here to let us represent him. Otherwise, he's just gonna be stuck in the prison for a long time. And he can't die, so they can't put him in the gallows, so they're just gonna keep him in that cell forever.
What about the sun? Then again.
No, he's
About
got
a steak or garlic
he's got sunscreen.
or a silver sword.
He's gonna throw his
I'll
wine
be
bottles
heading
at
him.
people. No, the vampire can regrow a head, or the head will just come back to him.
Yes, but silver is not good for them because
No,
holy connections.
but so we got to convince him, and then we got to find out who did it, because somebody killed Mr. Fish and Chips. We just got to find out who.
Someone was trying to steal my fish and chips.
Oh no, wait till you find out why he died, or how, and why and how and when and all that stuff. Everything's gonna be like plot twist after plot twist from here on out. Alright, so next time around, we will catch up with getting this investigation going. So until then, we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Everyone take care.
Bye-bye.
Elliot, what are you doing? Ow.